Hey guys, welcome to, not Water Tanks, but World of Warships. Now, if you haven't seen, World of Warships will be going live to the public on Tuesday, which is going to be tomorrow. I think it's the 1st of June. And I thought, let me give you guys some tips and tricks for the game. I'm going to be talking through the classes, the abilities of them, and how they will perform and their roles in the game. Now, if you go, I'll also show you the tech tree as well. So, for now, you've got 4 nations. You've got Japan, fully loaded with all the classes: aircraft carriers, battleships, cruisers, and destroyers. Same goes with the US. Unfortunately, the USSR, which only has 2 premiums, and the UK, which only has 1 premium, their trees aren't fully out yet, but hopefully soon they will be out. Remember, this game has just come out. So, let me talk through all the classes. So, for the classes, we have aircraft carriers, battleships, cruisers, and destroyers. I don't have an aircraft carrier on me right now, but I can pretty much show you what they look like. If I can, yeah. So, aircraft carriers, most of them look like this at Lotus. Now, what makes aircraft carriers so significant in the game is they can carry, as they say in the name, aircraft. So you can pretty much control the entire battlefield with aircraft. You can get torpedo bombers, you can get your regular bombers, and you can also get fighters. Each one has a specific role. Torpedo bombers sprays out neutral torpedoes at the enemy. You can command at what angle. You get your bombers, which can drop bombs onto the enemy target, can cause fires and some critical hits if you get lucky. Also, you get fighters, which can either intercept enemy fighters or destroy the enemy aircraft, and can also give your allies some support. For me, I'm not really a big fan of the aircraft carriers. I played this when it was in closed beta and wasn't a huge fan, but everyone has their own roles. Next, you've got the battleships. These things are the behemoths of the sea. Huge, carries lots and lots of guns, and to be honest, they are slow. Just like heavy tanks in World of Tanks, these things can take a punch because they have so much health. The Kansas beta, which you can only get through the closed beta test, has 43,000 health. Compare that to a tier 4 cruiser, it only has 24,000, so a big jump, nearly twice as the health. These things are slow, fine, but these things have the guns. Look at this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dual barrel turrets, and they carry a punch. And these are 305mm guns, so beware. Although these things have a firepower, they do have a long reload. Can roughly be around 30 to 20 seconds, but when they hit, they pack a punch. And also, a significant thing to mostly battleships is they have secondary armaments. Now what it does is, if an enemy team comes near you in a certain radius, then what can happen is these guns you can see on the side, they will begin to fire for you automatically and begin to hit the enemy. So while you're reloading, those will do the work for you, and you can get some more direct hits in. Now, the thing battleships have over a lot of other classes is range. They can be snipers. Even though they're heavy and they have the armor, they're not really there for most of the combat. They're going to be backup support, and near the end they'll be taking hits for the team while everyone else is pretty much on low health. Now, what battleships do get is a significant ability, which is called heal, I think. Repair party. Now what this does is it restores health to your ship for a limited time. So for now it's 28 seconds. It takes 120 seconds to reload it, so it's sort of like a consumable which you can use again, and you can only use it 3 times. And these things heal your ship. So for example, you've taken a big beating and you want to go back to the battlefield, but you want to get some health back, so you can just use it and your health will restore. Not too much, but it will help a bit. You can also use these as damage absorbers. So when you've been hit by an enemy, you can just use that, and when they keep firing, that ability will be taking hits for you, so you can pretty much stay on the same health as you were. Next class, we are going to the cruisers. Now I've got the St. Louis and the Phoenix in mind, and also got Tenmayu, but I'm mainly focusing on the Americans. But the thing, what cruisers is basically your medium tanks, strong firepower, very mobile. Compared to a lot of things, they are mobile. I think early tiers you're not as mobile, but it's still good. Now, even though these things don't have much guns, for example, my Phoenix isn't fully upgraded, but it's got around 8 guns. I think fully upgraded has 10 guns. But even though it doesn't have much guns, and doesn't have, looks puny, look at just tiny guns, but the thing they have is rate of fire, so you can just keep pumping out those shots instantly, especially with the St. Louis. Just the amount of guns this thing has. And with this, you're basically an all-rounder. You're going to pretty much be in battlefield most of the time, unlike the battleships. Now, what these cruisers get is they get an ability will be pretty late during the tree, which will be around tier 6, if I'm correct, from the closed beta. And what this ability does is it gives you stronger AA power. So around tier 6 and above, you tend to see a lot more aircraft carriers and a lot more aircraft. So when there's more aircraft around you, you can just use your ability, and I think it lasts for around 20 seconds or 30 seconds, I'm not sure. But what that will do is raise your powers of the AA guns, so your aircraft around you will die a lot faster and take a lot more damage. Now, the perfect thing about cruisers is speed, and some of them can carry torpedoes, so you can have the rollover destroyer as well. So, nice all-rounder, just a combination of the battleship's sort of health, but you've also got the speed of a destroyer, but you also have the firepower of some of the battleships. Now, moving on to the last class, we're going to the destroyers. These things are fast and just amazing, to be honest. They've got the speed compared to everything else. They've got some firepower compared to everything else. And the one thing that makes them so special is torpedoes. These things can launch torpedoes from a very far range. Normally for your cruisers, your torpedo range is quite small, but compared to the destroyers, the range is huge. If you want to go for a destroyer which has more torpedoes, I suggest go for a Japanese, but oh well. But these things are fast. For now, currently the Sims is the fastest destroyer in the game, from what I've heard. And to be honest, I do love my destroyers. They are just nice, nimble, and basically a light tank say scout for you, and they can do some damage as well. Now, the abilities destroyers get is, let me check again. You get a engine boost and smoke screen. Now, what the engine boost does is it increases your speed by 8% for around 120 seconds. So when you're in a clutch moment, you can just use your engine boost, get out of there, maybe deploy some smoke screens so you can hide yourself. Smoke screens are basically increases your how do you call it? In concealment. So if you're in a tight situation, you can just use that, and you are free to go for a while. But warning, do not fire. Now, with torpedoes, you get two choices. You get wide spread and a narrow spread. Wide spread is mainly used for further encampments, or sometimes even really close encampments, so you can get your direct hits in. So your arc of the torpedoes will be pretty wide. The narrow one will make it sort of more concentrated into one area, so your torpedoes move as more as a pack. These are also good for medium encampments and also close engagements, because for example, someone may move around a bit too much, for example a cruiser, and you just want him all in one position, and you know they're gonna go there. You can just use a narrow spread, hit them, all your torpedoes are gonna hit, maybe one or two may just go out of it, but you're gonna get a huge amount of damage from that, and probably kill him with all your torpedoes. Now, for the tech tree, I'm going to be looking through, and I'm also going to tell you what each nation is good at, in my opinion. Now, for Japan, the cruisers are good. I think near the end, the cruisers act more like battleships with the firepower, and they don't have as much speed. But they're still good overall. The destroyers for the Japanese are quite significant. They have the speed. The guns on it are horrific. I would say that straight. The turrets don't turn, they don't have much firepower. But what they do have compared to everything else is torpedoes. Lots and lots of torpedoes, and they can keep firing every single time. And the damage it does is huge compared to a lot of things. Battleships, what they're mainly known for is for the range they have and the complete firepower they hold. I think in the Close B I got up to the Congo, nearly got the Fuso, and I was happy with it. The range is amazing. Compared to the US battleships, these things are the elite snipers. And for aircraft carriers, I wasn't a big fan of aircraft carriers in general. But what I've heard is these things have quite better, torpedo bombers than the Americans. I say look at someone else, so you know about the aircraft carriers. For the USA, they're mainly more about firepower, whereas Japan's more about damage. So the destroyers are pretty good. They are fast, nimble. The firepowers on the guns are actually very good. Torpedoes, they're not so much, but to be honest, the torpedoes on this actually do work quite well. Cruisers are all about the firepower. Guns, 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 and more guns. St. Louis is known for it and sort of shows you what the American cruisers are like. Just keep on firing at the enemies. I got up to the Cleveland, and I loved it. Omaha is amazing. Phoenix, not favored by much, but I love it still. It's just you about firing all those weapons at the enemy team, getting those hits in, getting the damage high, and they are going to be like crap. For the US battleships, I would say the reload compared to the Japanese is quite a bit better. But what they do have is the amount of guns they carry. As you saw with the Arkansas Beta, it's got quite a lot of guns, and that's a tier 4. For the Japanese, the tier 4 is the Mayogi. If I look at it now, so, it doesn't have much. It hardly has any guns. And the thing about this one is it has no AAs. Even though this is stock, what you can get more is more turrets, I guess. No, you're gonna stuck with 3 turrets, so for the entire grind, so not much. So the Americans have a better firepower, more guns. For the carriers, you are going to be, I would say they're sort of the same as Japanese, but they're more better in their fighters and some of their bombers. Well, I think that sums up most of the game. I hope you did enjoy that, and if you do want World of Warships content, you just have to ask. Put it in the comments down below. I will probably after this, I'll be putting up some live gameplay I did during the weekend of what me and my mates did. We were grinding out our St. Louis. Hope you guys did enjoy this. If this helped, please slap that like button. Please slap that like button, and comment down below what ships you want me to do and what kind of grind you want me to go through. Yeah, it's gonna come out. The game's gonna come out tomorrow for the public. I hope you good luck on the battlefield, and do beware of some of the close beta testers, because we will be trolling you. So yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll probably see you on the next one. Good luck on the battlefield, and watch your 6.